Welcome back, everybody, to our Magic the Gathering tutorial. Luke here. I hope you guys enjoyed the last part, walking us through the basics of Magic. We're going to go on to the second part of the tutorial, dealing with sorceries, creatures with flying, and interacting with the graveyard. Let's jump into it. In addition to summoning creatures, you'll use the mana from your lands to cast sorceries, one-time use spells that can have a variety of immediate effects.
For your second quest, you'll be using a black deck. Black's specialty is removing your opponent's creatures. Your opponent is Azure Mage. We arrived to this game already in progress. As you can see, a lot of dueling has gone on so far. But with no creatures on the battlefield, it'll take a miracle to survive the next few turns. It's Azure Mage's turn, and she attacks with her last remaining creature, bringing your life total to 2. This looks promising. You've drawn Assassinate, a sorcery. Sorceries are cards intended to be used a single time.
In Magic, your turn is split into 5 phases. Sorceries can be cast in either of your 2 main phases. So as you see, it starts up with your main phase, then moves to combat, then another main phase, and the end of your turn. Before all this is your upkeep and your draw step, where you untap all your lands and creatures and draw a card. Let's move on.
Assassinate is a card that can destroy a creature of your choice, as long as it's tapped. Since you're at 2 life, you'd better use it on Azure Mage's creature before it kills you.
Let's go ahead and assassinate it.
Now, Azure Mage will cast some spells. Divination allows the player to draw 2 cards, a signature blue spell. Now, your opponent has a creature that has a special ability. Zoom in on the card to find out what makes Winddrake difficult to block.
So Winddrake has the flying ability, which means it can soar over your ground defenses. You'll need to play a card that can deal with this airborne threat.
Without another Assassinate card, you have no way to destroy Azure Mage's Winddrake. What will you do to stay alive?
It looks like to stay alive, we're going to play this Vampire Nighthawk, one of my favorite cards.
Now you're in serious trouble. That Goliath Sphinx can kill you with 1 hit. But the good news is that your Vampire Nighthawk can kill any creature it deals damage to because it has Death Touch.
Looks like we've just drawn a big creature, Zombie Goliath. Big ground creature. Let's get it out there.
Here's an interesting decision. Do you attack with your Vampire Nighthawk? If you do, you won't have any untapped creatures to block the Goliath Sphinx with.
In this case, I would say no, don't attack. Even though it has lifelink, that'd be a bad play. Let's just move on. We wouldn't want to rely on us having to draw something to take care of that Sphinx next turn. So let's go ahead and block the Sphinx.
You've drawn a powerful sorcery. Rise from the grave can reanimate creatures that are in a graveyard. Now's your chance to take that Goliath Sphinx as your own.
So fantastic. We have this card that can take a creature card from a graveyard, any graveyard, onto the battlefield under our control, and it's going to be a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. So let's go ahead and grab the Goliath Sphinx.
It appears safe to attack with your zombie Goliath.
Let's go ahead and do it. Should be able to get rid of this Windrake.
Now swing in for the win.
So we took care of our one blocker. Now we just have to seal the deal.
As you play more Magic, you'll run into many kinds of spells and creature abilities. Look for spells that fit your playstyle. In Quest 3, we'll learn about spells with more permanent effects.
Well, there you have it. Brief look at how combat works. We learned a little bit about sorceries, and we learned how the graveyard works. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you in better understanding Magic. Join me next time, and we'll continue on. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below, and I will try to answer them as best I can, or just jump on to the next tutorial, and maybe your question will be answered there. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.